From the Polo Grounds in New York City, the title bout for the heavyweight boxing championship of the world.
Hello, everybody. This is Lindsey Nelson at ringside at the Polo Grounds in New York, and the crowd here in this outdoor arena is awaiting the main event of the evening. Both principals are in the ring. Heavyweight champion Floyd Patterson's first defense of his title against Tommy Hurricane Jackson. It's a 15-round fight that's been billed as the form and skill of the champion against the stamina and endurance of the challenger. It's a big night here in New York. This is the first big outdoor fight here in nearly 2 years. And the electric excitement that accompanies a heavyweight championship fight has been building up throughout the evening. A heavyweight championship fight, as always, has brought out a motley crew of fight fans. Of course, they include movie stars, television headliners, politicians, statesmen, and just plain sports followers. The two fighters weighed in at the Winter Garden Theater on Broadway at noon today. Jackson checked in 192.5 pounds. Patterson weighed in at 184 pounds. So Jackson weighs 8.5 pounds more than the champion. It's a warm night in the Polo Grounds. The weather appears to be clear at the moment. Prospects are bright for a fine evening. In just a few moments, we'll return to ringside. But first, here's a story about a sound investment. The champion, Floyd Patterson, is in the far corner. The challenger, Hurricane Jackson, is in the near corner. And now here's a man who's spent a good many years around the fight game. He's well known to boxing fans from coast to coast, Bill Coram.
Thank you, Lindsey. As you folks see, the fighters are in the ring. Their gloves have been put on since they came into the ring, as is the rule in championship fights, which, of course, go 15 rounds if they last that long. We're almost set here to go, but first I'll give you a quick rundown of the records of the two fighters. Patterson, the champion, and the youngest champion ever to win the World's Heavyweight Championship, and the youngest ever to defend it, now 22, has had 31 fights, lost only one, and that's to Maxim. He has scored 22 KOs. In his last 13 fights, only Jackson has gone the distance with him. Jackson, who is 26 years old, the challenger, has had 35 fights, 13 KOs. He's won 30, lost 4, had 1 draw, and been KO'd by Nino Valdez. And now to my friend Harry Ballo in the beautiful white dinner jacket.
Ladies and gentlemen, a few great fistic celebrities we know you'd like to meet. We'll ask them to step up quickly, please, as we call their names. 4 times a world's boxing champion, Tony Canzoneri. Come up there. While waiting for Tony, ladies and gentlemen, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Ezzard Charles. Ladies and gentlemen, Ezzard Charles. Another great former heavyweight king, Jersey Joe Walcott. Jersey Joe Walcott. And here's the great former champion, Tony Canzoneri. The Cinderella man of boxing, former heavyweight champion, James J. Braddock.
In just a few moments, the fight will be underway, but first, here's a man who seems to be in a hurry.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Fights Incorporated, of which Emil Lence is the promoter and president. Thank you. This boxing program has been conducted under the jurisdiction and supervision of the New York State Athletic Commission, Julius Helfand, chairman. We'd also like to make mention that tonight's star attraction is the first heavyweight championship match to be presented in this city by an independent promoter. and his name is Emil Lence. As usual, the ring officials have been assigned here by the New York State Athletic Commission. The judges are Joe Agnello and Billy Recht. The timekeeper is Huey Benedict, counting for the knockdowns at the bell. Referee Teddy Martin, and the referee at this time inside the ring, Ruby Goldstein. Ladies and gentlemen, another contest will follow. This contest is the stellar event of 15 rounds duration for the heavyweight championship of the world. Presenting the youngest pugilist in the annals of Fistiana to hold the heavyweight crown. He's from Mount Vernon, New York. He's wearing white trunks with black stripes. His weight is 184 pounds. Floyd Patterson. And tonight, Floyd makes his initial appearance in defense of his heavyweight crown. His adversary, the recognized #1 contender and capable challenger, formerly of Rockaway Beach, Long Island, now making St. Albans, Long Island his home. He's wearing black trunks with white stripes. He weighs 192.5 pounds. Tommy Hurricane Jackson. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we hope and trust that at the conclusion of this important contest, that the arm of the outstanding adversary will be raised in token of victory. Thank you.
We'll listen in now, ladies and gentlemen, to referee Ruby Goldstein as soon as they get the mic down. That arm waving, there are a lot of gnats around this ring tonight. Now let's listen to Ruby.
I'd like to ask about the rules of this tape. Well, I'm sure you know them all, and this being a championship fight, you know that we are waiving the mandatory 8 count, and we're waiving the 3 knockdown rule in any round. I want you to watch your clinching. I want you to break by yourself instead of me pulling you apart. Make this a good, clean fight. Shake hands now, not when you come out, and good luck.
There's 8.5 pounds between the fighters this time, with Jackson, of course, having the advantage, as you heard. Last time there were 15.5 pounds. That is the last time they met. And, of course, that was a split decision fight. Here's the bell, round 1. Patterson in the white trunks, Jackson in the black. No punch of any consequence has been landed. Terrific volley by the champion, as you saw. In fact, it was a rally. The best punch in that rally was an overhand right hand. Hit the Hurricane right on the chin. 30 seconds. Seconds to the round to go. The bell for the end of the round is rung, ladies and gentlemen. It's very weak here. I didn't hear it for a moment, but there will be no count, as you see. The referee did not count. Jackson was down at the bell. Here is round 2. Hurricane is still blowing. Jackson bleeding slightly from the nose. Two rights, two lefts, a right again, and then a left again. Another tremendous flurry by the champion. Count went to 6, although Jackson was on his feet at 4. There's no compulsory 8 count in the championship fight. It was a roundhouse right hand that dropped him in a neutral corner. Blood is smearing across the Hurricane's face. Seconds. Tommy's game, but he's doing not much but take punishment. Seconds. There's the bell. This time Jackson was not down, but was backing away from Patterson. And that's the end of the round 2. And now here's Lindsey Nelson.
Thanks, Bill. And there you see 22-year-old Floyd Patterson, the heavyweight champion of the world, who is looking sharper in this fight than he has looked. In the 2 rounds, he's been throwing combinations with such rapidity that Jackson has had no defense for them whatsoever. He was down for no count at the bell at the end of round 1. He was down in round 2 and was taking punishment consistently as Patterson was throwing them lefts and rights in combination to the body and to the head, a 2-fisted attack. And there you see Hurricane Jackson. He came out for the second round, bicycling. Now you see him exercising there in his corner to indicate he's set to go. And the crowd likes that there, giving Hurricane Jackson a hand, indicating he's got plenty of stamina and he wants to stay in there. There's the buzzer now for round 3 coming up. And once again, Bill Coram.
Thank you, Lindsay. Hurricane is certainly busy in his corner, if not after the bell rings. He's still dancing. Round 3, here they go again. Tough man, this Jackson, a tough man. Patterson the white trunk, Jackson the black. One thing Patterson's not doing, he said he's going to. He's not punching to the body at all, only to the head. Out for a quick KO, obviously. Hurricane doing a little more of his fancy stuff now. There's a fancy right hand of Patterson's, too. Patterson tore into him again. Don't know how the man can stand it. Yeah. 30 seconds of the round to go. Notice the speed of Patterson's punches. He's one of the fastest fighters with his hands, big man, I've ever seen. Combinations are beautiful. 10 seconds of the round to go. For the end of round 3, and now down to Peter Kelly at gate 57. Patterson, who looks fresh and good in his corner, I think you can see it all right. You can see both corners. I see from the monitor. Seems very fresh, but he was missing a little more in the 3rd round than he had in the first 2. He was right in the eye of the Hurricane in the first 2 rounds. Now here's round 4. Terrific combination, left and right, 2 lefts, Patterson. Seems impossible for the champion to miss Tommy keeps taking them. Jackson bleeding from the nose again. Now Patterson's working for the body. Oh. Jackson acted as if he thought he was hit low. Didn't complain to the referee, made a grimace. But Tommy fought back hard after that. It made him mad, I guess. "30 seconds. No punch there. The champion really punishes him. To the body again. 10 seconds. Hurricane's lip is quivering. I don't think you can see that. And that's the end of round 4, and now here's Lindsey Nelson.
And in the far corner, you see the champion, Floyd Patterson, who, after having pounded Hurricane Jackson mercilessly to the head for 3 rounds, decided in round 4 that he'd go to the body to see if he could drop that guard a little bit, although he was hitting him squarely as much as he could possibly want to, but couldn't drop the challenger. And in return, Hurricane Jackson himself went to the body of Patterson and managed to score noticeably for the first time. As Bill Curran told you, he indicated by a grimace that he thought, Patterson did, that he had taken a low blow during the fight. However, there was no complaint through the referee. In case you tuned in late, it is Patterson you see there in the white trunks. Hurricane Jackson is wearing black trunks. The referee is Ruby Goldstein. We're at the Polo Grounds in New York, and once again you see Hurricane Jackson in his corner, getting a rise out of the crowd as he indicates he's up, ready to go. The Hurricane has been hit with everything but the ring post. He's still up and at him, ready to go once again here at the Polo Grounds. There's the bell and Bill Curran.
Thank you, Lindsey. The Hurricane was going around the maypole, wasn't he? All right, round 5. What endurance that Hurricane Jackson has. They've been head-to-head, as you see, much of the last 2 rounds. Jackson landed a good, hard body punch, good right hand to the body. Patterson stepped back from it. Jackson coming in, marching in, forcing the fight. Patterson still outboxing, still landing cleanly, but not carrying the fight to him as he was. Jackson missed him with a right hand that might have done a lot of damage. Seconds. Patterson counter-punching. Jackson looks fresher, to me at least, than he did at the end of the second round. 10 seconds. Of round 5.
Both fighters move in on each other as round 6 begins. Jackson opens fire, still pawing away with the long left lead. Patterson, unperturbed, just brushes most of them aside. Jackson badly battered, Patterson unmarked. Jackson's defense is opening up again. Yes, Jackson's elbows are moving away from his body. He has lost that protection to his body when he held them there tight. When Patterson gets in close, he really batters Hurricane. Patterson is waiting for that clean shot. He wants to score that knockout rather than pulverize the challenger. There's a hard right to Jackson's jaw, a crashing left to the head. Those punches are sharp. Both fighters press for an opening as they stand and close on each other toe-to-toe. Patterson again reaching Jackson with short and hard punches, really damaging blows. What keeps Hurricane going? Curtains if that had landed. Jackson's face a swollen, bloody mess. Again, the champion bombards Jackson with lefts and rights. Swarms all over the badly beaten Long Islander, just a sitting duck. How long can it go on? Referee Goldstein sends the fighters to their corners as the round ends.
I noticed Patterson sitting across from us, not even spitting any blood at all. Okay, round 7. Hurricane looked to see if his nose was bleeding, and Patterson leaped right in on him when he saw him do it. Jackson falling on his legs, but they begin to look a little rocky. A little rubbery. Of course, it's hard to tell about this man. Another savage right to the side of the head. Patterson in the white trunks, retreating, counterpunching. Patterson just pawing to the body a little, but no force of punches. Another savage right hand to the jaw by the champion. If Hurricane's jaw wasn't his best defense, he couldn't take those. Those are powerful punches. Uh-oh. There's a fancy step. Saw that one. There it is again. That's his secret weapon. 30 seconds, half a minute. Jackson blooded and battered. Bleeding all over from both sides of the head. 10 seconds. From the nose. Jaws puffing. I don't know how many right hands he hit him. And that's the bell for the end of round 7, and now down to Peter Kelly at gate 57.
Back to his corner that time. Jackson was dazed and circled once before finally landing in the right corner. The referee, Ruby Goldstein, came over to inquire. Stayed in his corner about 15 seconds to inquire if he were okay. There you see Jackson now, as the buzzer has sounded for round 8. Patterson throwing tremendous punches and Jackson absorbing a great deal of punishment. Once again, Bill Cora.
Well, it's round 8, Lindsay, and let's see what they do. The last round was very, very tough for the Hurricane. He did no shenanigans in his corner after that round. Jackson now patched over the left eye. Just a little bit. Cut in there, I guess. No blood. Patterson slowed up a little bit. His white trunks are spattered with blood, however, and it's not his blood. It's Tommy's. Patterson driving in on the man in the black trunk, forcing him back now. Pounding him with shorter punches. I don't think you see those perhaps so well, but some of them, many of them bounce off the head, mostly right hand. Just a tattoo by the champion. 30 seconds of the round. Left. Of course, in these rounds, Patterson's piling up a lot of points. 10 seconds of the round left now. Both men spattered by blood as round 8 ends, and that's the end of...
Bill Coram pointed out Patterson has been cut slightly over his left eye, both men bleeding, and there you see the champion, Floyd Patterson, in his corner. You know, many times when a man becomes heavyweight champion of the world, he suddenly gets a great deal of confidence and becomes a class fighter where perhaps he hasn't been before. The Floyd Patterson that we're seeing here tonight at the Polo Grounds is a considerably improved Floyd Patterson over the man who beat Hurricane Jackson 13 months ago in a split decision in 12 rounds. He came on, of course, on November 30th to win the heavyweight championship when he dropped Archie Moore in the 5th round of their fight, and this is his first defense of the title. Came out here tonight to do a business-like job, has proceeded to do it. However, he has found that dropping Hurricane Jackson is a difficult task. Only one man has ever been able to knock out Hurricane Jackson. That was Nino Valdez under the 3 knockdown, knockout automatic ruling. And Jackson is showing still a great deal of courage and stamina. Here's Bill Coram.
Patterson's still unmarked. Thank you, Lindsay. Still unmarked. Still looks fresh. You can't see any marks on Jackson either when he comes out, but when he goes back to his corner, he has plenty of them. However, he keeps coming in there. He is a man of prodigious stamina. Just unbelievable stamina. Marvelous legs. They said that Jackson wanted to run from his training camp to the Polo Grounds for the fight. Of course, it was a joke, but the way his legs looked, he could have done it. He just got unbelievable legs. Of course, he runs miles and miles every day. I'm talking a little now because nothing's happening much, as you see. Terrific left. Shook Jackson. Count was 5. The count was 5. No automatic count. Count was 5. Right hand punch dropped him flat in the middle of the ring. Patterson ran into the referee for a minute, chasing Jackson. Half minute of the round to go. Jackson's face is a crimson stream from the top of his nose down, all about his mouth. Bright red mask. That was a tremendous right-hand punch, right on the button. Third time, Jackson had been down. 10 seconds. Fair right hand by Jackson, yes. And as the bell rang, a butte by Patterson. That's the bell for the end of round 9.
Just at the bell, Patterson hurt Jackson with a tremendous right hand to the head, and again, referee Ruby Goldstein went over to the corner to inquire if everything were okay, and Jackson says he's okay to go again, so round 10 coming up, and once again, Bill Coram.
This time, Patterson was first on his feet. He's the coolest-looking kid you ever saw for 22 fighting for a title. He looks as if he's out for a dance. Jackson's been down 3 times, first, second rounds, and the last round, the 9th. Came in late. Patterson's in the white trunk, backing into the ropes now. Jackson in the black trunk. title holder fencing and jabbing again. Nodded a little bit at that right hand of Jackson. There's no Dempsey fear, Polo. It's a very exciting and very good fight. Very earnest, very tough fight. We hope you're enjoying it, and I'm sure the folks at Buick hope so. It's a real good fight, I think. That's all of it. That's all of it. Right hand of Ruby Goldstein stopped it. Now Jackson is raising a fuss, but that's the all of it. That's the end. He hit him with the left hand, drove him back into the ropes, hit him with the right, cocked his right hand again, and Goldstein leaked in there. He's a man that can take a lot of punishment, but obviously Goldstein didn't figure that he should go on trying to take it all night, and certainly he was helpless as far as anything to do with hurting Patterson was concerned. In a minute, we'll have a review of the fight, but first, here's a man with something on his mind. Now, Floyd, we'll get this interview in. You told me that when we started a little bit too soon there, that you thought that Jackson was stronger in this fight.
Yes, I did.
But you felt stronger, too.
Yes.
And you feel now that you're in as good shape, I guess, as you've ever felt in your whole career, and not too old.
Yes, but however, I honestly believe that Jackson is such a terrific fighter that in time, if I manage to hold on to the championship, in time I'll be fighting him again.
Well, you're a good boyhood friend, I know, and maybe that would happen. And now you'll go out to Seattle for your next fight, I take it.
Yes.
In Seattle against Rodemacher.
Yes.
That's your next fight. Well, you fought well. Now, wait a minute. Can we get him? Will you get him a minute? That we couldn't help it. All right. All right. He wouldn't talk, they told me, anyhow in his corner. Cuz, come over here. We'll introduce now the manager of the champion, Amato. I'm sorry we couldn't get Jackson for you. He fought a very game fight, as you saw. Very courageous, wonderful fight. But he didn't want to talk. He wouldn't have talked anyhow. Cuz, what did you think of it?
Well, I think Floyd might have finished him sooner and more clearly, without question of doubt, except I think he wanted to fight him and beat him at his own game first.
Yeah. Well, now, what do you mean by his own game, Cuz?
Well, right inside, punching it out with him on the inside.
Yeah, do you think he looked better in this fight than the previous one?
Well, I think he won him more easily and far more decisively.
Well, obviously, more decisively was a knockout. Of course, the second knockout, and some people think the only real knockout in Jackson's career.
I
but
agree.
The other thing was the three-time knockdown with Valdez, which everybody understands. So that makes now everybody that your champion has fought the last 13 men, he's knocked them all out.
That's correct.
That's correct. Well, that's pretty good. In 23 knockouts, he's only 22. So he's going pretty fast. A good fighter. Congratulations, and I think he's going to be a very, very fine champion. And I'm sorry, again, I repeat, that we couldn't get Hurricane Jackson for you. And I think you saw a good fight, and now back to ringside.
And so it's a technical knockout in 1 minute, 52 seconds of the 10th round for Floyd Patterson in his first defense of his heavyweight championship here at the Polo Grounds in New York. And strangely enough, a man who was on the floor 3 times during the fight. He was down in the first round, he was down in the second round, and he was down in the 10th round, is on his feet at the finish. Hurricane Jackson, of course, took tremendous punishment throughout the fight, showed a great deal of courage and stamina, but the referee, Ruby Goldstein, had been checking with him in the corner. The last round, he was there for about 15 seconds to see if Jackson were okay, because at the end of round 9, he had taken a tremendous right to the head that had damaged him. And so when Patterson came in and had him against the ropes with lefts and rights, he stepped in, Ruby Goldstein, the referee did, to stop it, and the official time was 1 minute, 52 seconds of round number 10, and Patterson is still the heavyweight champion of the world. This has been an NBC Sports Department presentation. Tom F. Gallery, Director of Sports. Our mobile unit and remote crew tonight were from NBC New York. Technical Director was Bill Patterson. Director was Harry